This the link up. This the link up. This the link up. Welcome to the link up. This the link up. This the link up. This the link up. Welcome to the link up. Oh. All right. Well, the link up has begun. Thank you for joining us on another episode of the LinkUp podcast. This is your host, Mr. King, and I got my co-host here with me, Kana.
Yes, welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for tuning in to episode 2.
Yes, and on this episode, we just want to start off discussing the previous one a little bit, going through some of the comments a little bit, and just kind of really reiterating what the show is about, the importance of it, what exactly it is that we're trying to do. And I know we did some of that already on the first episode, but we got a little distracted and it wasn't really that concise or cohesive so we felt the need to really clarify certain things. So I guess we'll start with the basic premise of the show and what the podcast, what we're trying to achieve.
I guess you could say is in general, we're just trying to make it a platform for young not just Caribbean people, but young professionals in general, just to be able to come in on the show, talk about what they're doing or whatever plans or projects they have, to either get other people involved or
get more promotion and stuff, get the word out there, help basically provide a platform so that they could do that and let them speak. And aside from just providing the platform, we also want it to be a discussion, a kind of the starter of discussion topics, and we really wanted to make the show more of a discussion than just a show, just something where you passively listen to. We want to actually have more fan interaction, so things like for example, if people have any topics that they would like us specifically to discuss, we'd also want to make sure to let us know, comment something. We're doing it for y'all too at the same time. So if y'all have something you want us to discuss, or a specific guest you want us to maybe try to reach out to have on the show because you like his or her views on a specific topic, or something along those lines, just leave us know and we're gonna try to make it happen. And also just we want to make sure that the audience also joins into the conversation as well. So for example, if you heard if a topic that we were discussing was interesting, or you had a perspective that you'd like to share on it, or add something that maybe we missed if we were talking about something, like on the first episode, for example, we were discussing ideas of what Martin's government could produce or something like that. I mean, if you have a different perspective on or something that could be added to that conversation, make sure to let us know.
Leave us know, and then we're most probably gonna end up discussing it again in a recap in the next episode.
Or if possible, we might even have you up on the show, depending on if it's possible, depending on your location and different things.
Yeah, if you're in the area.
Yeah, if you're in the area, reach out to us if you're interested in being a guest on the show. We'll try to make that happen if it's possible. And
also, I know me personally, I might say some things that might not be completely true, or I might not know exactly what I'm talking about. So if all you know I'm talking complete crap, please feel free to correct me.
Because honestly, I was wondering where you was going with that statement.
Yeah.
I was wondering, are you trying to say that you're just lying to our audience and stuff like that?
But a lot of things, I have a lot of general information about a lot of things.
True. So basically, you're saying that you're not an expert. Some things may be wrong, exactly. And if you know it better,
exactly.
Feel free
to correct me. And if you're talking crap, then I'm most likely going to not address
disregard your opinion.
Yeah, something along those lines. But we will be watching the comments, and we will be reading the feedback and any constructive criticism that y'all may have to help us improve the show. Because it's something we doing, but we want it to be something for everybody. Yeah, we want to make sure that people enjoy what they're listening to. So we're open to all suggestions. Not everything we might be able to act on and adjust and implement right away and stuff like that, because it's just basically us two here mainly behind it, and we're figuring things out as we're still learning, we're still growing basically. So everything, we're just basically saying, don't expect, I don't know, I guess the top quality, or don't expect an instant change to happen overnight or whatever. But it's gonna come though.
We're definitely improving and paying attention to the comments, and I feel like that's a kind of good note to address the fact that or at least acknowledge the fact that we have received certain comments and feedback, and we appreciate the feedback that we've received so far. Just for those people that actually listen for the entire 2 hours, I mean, it's a long time, so we know.
And we had kind of got a little carried away. And not only that, we went off topic a lot. I sure people wasn't fault. Well, that's one of the comments. A lot of the comments we got to stick to either close a topic properly, or
we definitely got to be a little more focused then.
But we listening, man. We listening.
We definitely hearing the comments, like.
So I guess that more or less explains the premise,
the idea of the show, the podcast. Yeah.
So now I have a question. Mm-hmm. You've been seeing this crap that been going on with Trump.
It's hard. It's hard not to see it. I feel like with how plugged into more different media I try to be and stuff like that I am, it's hard not to see it. It's impossible to see it. It's been everywhere.
I kind of miss out on the main ideas of it. So they have this whole thing where this was going on.
This was Charlottesville. I believe it's North Carolina, but I could be wrong on that. On the North Carolina part, so I do know that it was in Charlottesville. So the whole thing is they had, it seems, these white what do you call it? White nationalists and white supremacists. By like that's a whole discussion there in itself. Like how they define themselves, whether they're alt-right, white nationalists,
the
neo-Nazis,
alt-right white
like
people. I mean,
racist people that like. Well, I mean, I don't think there's very many black alt-right members. Like I don't think like those ideologies work together.
But then so they seem to have some kind of protest and about some the statue.
Yeah, there's a statue of this Confederate General Robert E. Lee, and honestly, I was not interested enough to really go dig deep into his whole biography to see like was he a good guy, a bad guy, or whatever, like what exactly his role was and the details of how it went. But what I know on the general surface is he was a Confederate general and he fought against the Union, I believe, during the time of Confederacy in the U.S. Mm-hmm. You know,
okay, so that's who he was. So these people don't. So the whole thing is, I think they want to tear down the statue.
There was an issue with the statue, and the statue was going to be replaced or torn down,
or removed or something like that. And these people come and protest. So now it seems from the videos I had seen, both. There was like a bunch of fights, obviously, because is a whole race thing, white supremacy. It was from Confederate times and stuff like that. All right, cool. But then this man will come and practically defend these people. But meanwhile, when something like Black Lives Matter would have any protest, they calling them a whole bunch of thugs and stuff like that.
That's the issue right there in itself. Like even the existence of the KKK says a lot about, at least in my opinion, to me that says a lot about America's true attitude towards racism, or at least let me not put it on all America, but at least the U.S. government, how they truly feel when it comes to racism and bigotry and hatred within the country. The fact that a group like the Black Panthers was disbanded, there was an active effort on by the U.S. government to try to dismantle this group, a group that was started on the basis of self-defense. There was atrocities taking place against the black community, and it seemed as though nobody in that time would have done anything about it. So black people decided to band together and...
Okay, but then... Okay, that's true.
Oftentimes, the media puts these two things in the same category. The Black Panthers, the Black Lives Matter movement, and the KKK. They all hate groups. They all terrorist groups and stuff like that, terrorist organizations. The media tries to paint... or at least certain, I can't say the media in general because that's kind of a blanket statement, but it's common rhetoric in certain places.
But then back to what
people like Tommy Lauren and stuff like that.
I guess the reason why I bring this up is because I still can't fathom how people could still back up Trump and back up him as a president when he practically, I don't know, I can't.
Well, what is so hard to understand though? Like, did you not watch the campaign? Did you not see the fact that he basically ran on these type of ideals to appeal to these type of people as his base, his core supporters and stuff like that? Not to say that every Trump supporter is a racist, but
yeah, but that's the whole thing. I sure they got people that was like vote for him, that when they see what's going on now, they're like, bye, maybe not now. But then they still got people that he doing the right thing and this is what he say for the. But how you?
There was a report from the David Duke, ex-Grand Wizard, who was thanking Trump after he made his speech, not condemning them, but kind of condemning them. Is like,
I see that, and that make me scratch my head too, because
that shows you
if the former Grand Wizard, the KKK, thanking you for your speech.
If that's who giving you a cosign, is like, what kind of people you really associating with yourself with? Although I believe he did denounce him at one point or something like that. Maybe not publicly or whatever, but there was some insinuation of his connection to, I'm not sure if it was David Duke, but maybe it was some other white nationalist, and he said some kind of cleaning up statement to kind of distance himself from the person. But when you got the entire cabinet that he came in was a bunch of people that was known or like very serious conservatives, from the Jeff Sessions to the Steve Bannon, although from what I know Steve Bannon ain't affiliated with this thing, 'cause that was a whole scandal at one point. But
I ain't that involved with it.
I'm just saying it goes deep. Like when it comes to him being with conservative people, people who are potentially if they're not just outright racist, they're like right there borderline having some kind of semi-racist views and stuff like that. I believe it was I don't want to just put it out as Assata Shakur, but there was a prominent leader in the black community, I can't remember who exactly it was, that had a letter denouncing Jeff Sessions, talking about him being racist from like the 60s or something like that.
But then with all that's concerned, okay, cool. Trump is, you could say, borderline an asshole.
Yeah.
But back to the point where you were saying with the KKK and the Black Panthers, you don't think the Black Panthers get disbanded because of like the time period? For example, if that had to come up now, you don't think they would have been a little bit more successful and not? No, why not?
Because I feel like the Black Lives Matter movement, although not the same as the Black Panthers movement, to me that's like the closest thing to that type of something that's just aims to just focus on black people and the things that are plaguing the black community and trying to find some kind of resolution or fighting for justice towards some kind of.
But you don't think actually somebody like somebody like Trump is, you don't think he actually bringing more black people together? Because everybody's starting to see it's crap he doing, and because of that fact, if the Black Panthers had maybe started come up in our era, you think it would have been a little bit more successful, but at least not disbanded so quickly?
Like, I saw a meme that had me thinking like the KKK can still gather and stuff like that, but it's considered suspicious if you got like 5 black people gathered somewhere, and just the existence of the KKK alone baffles me. How can that group continue to exist to still be a thing? I really don't know if the Black Panther Party would be more successful in this day and age, to answer your question.
Well,
I don't.
Successful, I guess that might be a wrong thing to say, because I'm making it seem like they didn't do what they were supposed to do. But what I mean lasted longer, I guess, had more of a lasting impact.
I think the issue, there was a lot of things that led to the dismantling of the Black Panther Party, from just little squabbles and beefs within the organization and stuff like that, with leaders and stuff like that. Like, who is really running things, or do we really agree with this person's ideology all the way, and how they see the movement should be going and different things like that, or just kind of not having everything as organized as it should have been to some degree with where certain things concern. And then there's also like COINTELPRO, like the FBI. I'm not sure if it's the FBI, but J. Edgar Hoover is a known figure when it comes to Malcolm X and different things involved there. Like, attempts by the U.S. government literally to get inside, infiltrate this organization and create division and stuff like that, so that it would lead to its dismantlement. Like,
but you think that would have been so easy now with how social media is and how everybody's so connected with cell phone, WhatsApp and all that kind of thing? You think it would have been that easy for them to just slide in and be like, all right, cool, we're gonna mess up this one, or we're gonna make this one turn on that one, and them kind of. If
you visit certain types of pages and stuff like that, you would feel, or there's a lot of people that have the kind of idea that none has changed in that regard, because there's a lot of pro-black pages or conscious pages or whatever you want to call it, and now and then you get certain comments from white people or from people with a different perspective and thing, and there's a lot of accusations that'll be thrown, like for example that these are just trolls or whatever, these are the infiltrators of people that support white supremacy that are just trying to infiltrate and cause division amongst us with their interjecting their opinion in a place where it's like the conversation isn't really about yours, like this is just us trying to come together and collectively do things and share knowledge or whatever about our history and stuff like that. So I really doubt that things would be that much different. And there's also been suspicion of some of the people in Trump's campaign, I think it was Jeff Sessions himself, that was looking to try to repeal certain voting rights and things like that, make it harder to vote for certain people. So it's like, to some degree, you can't say, or I wouldn't say they overtly trying, but then it's like, to some degree, it's kind of going back to almost Jim Crow era and like the times when the government was literally passing laws and stuff like that to restrict certain people. I wouldn't say if it's specifically black people necessarily, because I don't know all the details of what that deal is with the trying to repeal voting rights. Go back on that, but
I think it got something to do like the area, or they're trying to like stop early voting or somewhere along those like somewhere there they was trying to stop people from voting and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's a lot of the same tactics that are used. Like there's lots of ways to specifically target a certain group without specifically targeting that group. The same way clubs is be like, okay, we don't want no sport shoes or certain types of shoes and things that are common with a certain demographic of people. We know who you're targeting with certain dress code rules and stuff like that. So I'm just saying, like, I really can't tell you if it would be any easier or better now if the Black Panthers were today.
I feel you. Okay, so I got next question then. So since this is a LinkUp podcast and this is, you know, we starting to be more Caribbean based than anything else. But since we're on this Trump topic at the same time, how serious you think that threat is of North Korea and America, and how bad you think we're going to be affected by it?
Like, I feel like that's a very interesting situation with how that North Korea and Trump thing been escalating. Like,
wait, you think it actually escalated, or you think this is all for show? Because to a certain extent, I think it could be just for show now.
Honestly, that was my first thought. I felt like, okay, so we doing this Iraq, like this is the next people on the list basically. So we did the Middle East, and that's where the war was. Now, like, okay, we going North Korea to see what's going on over there.
But then even if that's the train of thought, then what for Afghanistan and the Middle East and them kind of places, they had a reason to go oil and stuff like that. What would be the reason to think North Korea?
The bank. Well, from what I know, people saying is like it's one of the few people that doesn't.
Oh, that the World Bank.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, exactly. Yeah, I'd hear that too. North Korea and like I think three or four other countries are the only countries in the world that the World Bank does not either the world.
They ain't controlled by the World Bank.
Yeah, they ain't controlled
with the IMF and stuff like that.
Yeah, or the World Bank don't have an office over there or something along those like with the World Bank.
Yeah.
Basically
it's about control of money and stuff like that. We trying to extend our reach and get everybody into this whole thing. Okay, but that might just be me, my conspiracy theory kind of thinking. Like,
I'd hear that too. But at the same time, we kind of run in the same conspiracy circle. So it could be we just hearing crap. But then, okay, cool. So that could be a reason. How serious you think that could be to happening? Or how
the actual war between?
Yeah.
I don't think it's very likely. Maybe that's just my wishful thinking in a sense, but I feel as though North Korea they still don't want war with the US. At this point, even though their military arsenal and all that has been upgraded and supposedly they got nuclear capabilities and missiles that could reach somewhere in the US or whatever.
But I think I don't know if they have stuff that could reach the US per se.
According to me, that was one of the recent developments in the story. Like they do have the capabilities now of putting a nuclear warhead on a missile that could reach the US potentially.
Which part though?
I know. I don't recall specifics.
Because I had read an article on Facebook where they were saying that they had it's possible that they could have the technology in order to reach New York City.
I think that was one of them, yeah.
And that would be a little tense because that would affect the world.
That's a major city there.
Why?
On a worldwide scale, yeah. Like the amount of businesses and stuff that have headquarters in New York and just different things like.
But then at the same, okay, I personally don't. I think it could happen because especially with how that man does move on Twitter.
Who that Trump?
Yeah, yo, you get the news from this man Twitter.
Yeah.
And we've never had such a
except during the Charlottesville thing, because that's when people was looking at his Twitter and stuff like that, and he was silent for a good while until he made them kind of contradicting somewhat.
Almost anybody could trigger this man to do something. So imagine actually a leader of a country like North Korea.
I get what you're saying, but I think maybe it's just my wishful thinking in the sense that I feel like there's no point. Like when it comes to nuclear war, to me, it really doesn't make any sense. But North Korea has, at least on their behalf, I feel like if they send some missiles or whatever, I mean, it's not bad for them. Like if the nuclear stuff happen over there in the US, it's like too bad for them over there.
Yeah,
like, we all the way over here and we good. But I know it's not gonna go that way. It's not just going to be okay. One missile is launched, they fuck up the US, and then like that's the end of it. Like
because the retaliation come in, and
that's exactly why I say like I don't think North Korea want that problem. Like when it comes to military might and the ridiculous amount that the US has spent on the defense budget, the amount of money that goes to improving their army and weaponry and everything like that. True. I just feel like North Korea does not want a problem. Yes, entering the game of nuclear weapons and stuff like that. Yes, you finally could potentially get some respect on a worldwide scale because are people gonna listen to you to some degree? Cause I feel to me that's what I see happening. Like the US does what it wants because we got the biggest army currently in the world and stuff like that. We spend the most on having the biggest and strongest army and the most advanced technology and blah blah blah. And there's very few countries that could rival the US in terms of military power, Russia being like one of the few. And that's why Russia and the US been beefing for like forever and can't ever see eye to eye because like there's like one of the few countries that could put the US in check to some degree.
Look, Russia and China got grouped together. That's problems, But
that's a whole nother thing in this element. The China involvement between because
but North Korea supposed to got alliances with China, if I'm mistaken.
That was exactly what I was gonna say. Like there's this whole thing of breakdown looking at Guam, I believe. Wait,
but yeah, that's what it's supposed to be taking over because
the area in South Korea that's in between China and North Korea and stuff like that. That's supposed to be what the beef. That's supposed to be what the beef about. But my whole thing is, okay, cool, nuclear war. But you realize that obviously technology advanced, right? Mm-hmm. According to an article I had to read, I think it was from Washington Post actually, that compared to the nuke that was dropped on Hiroshima, the type of nukes that we got
the
now?
US capability is like 20 times that.
That's not surprising. It's not surprising at all. It's not to be expected.
It's not surprising.
Technology advances is to be expected.
But you could fathom that. The
type of explosion. If Hiroshima did all of that, like.
But that was when World War II was when that was.
Tell you, I'm bad with numbers.
But I'm bad with history too, Lord.
Like, I can't tell you.
Lord, this is not a good.
That's what Google was invented for. I don't need to know these things out of my head.
This is not a good combination.
Google,
no, that's sad, guy. We cannot.
Google was created so I don't have to memorize.
People like you is why the old people that say we millennials ain't no good.
We ain't got no kind of intelligence. We lazy. All of that.
Yeah, people like you, self, boy. But I ain't no better because I don't know it either. But anyway, World War II happened. That was a while ago. Mm-hmm. Even then, the power was so strong, especially in the center of Hiroshima. The radiation was so strong. People was literally vaporized. Like you had see the shadows of people on walls and things like that. I had seen some pictures of when I was in Japan self. A friend of mine has shown me. That's crazy, Jad. And then it's 20 times stronger than that.
Unnecessary. That's why like I'm saying, I feel once you get into warfare, like nuclear warfare, I feel like it's just mutually assured destruction, meaning like it's senseless, it's pointless. When if the US really had to start sending nukes at certain people, or if the US and Russia had war and things, looking at what was going on with Syria, I guess the situation kind of changed since Donald Trump being president. But I mean, the things that was going back and forth regarding sanctions and Russia dealing with the Syria situation and how they was interacting with US and all of that is like, I feel like that was another situation that was kind of escalating. I was showing the same potentials to some degree. Like, is the US and Russia going to war? But then Trump came in and all this Trump collusion scandals and all of these things. That kind of
as a whole different topic. I think we got to deal with it next time. But just for a side note, there, Hiroshima was bombed on August 6th, 1945. Wow. 1945. Look how long ago are you telling
the remnants are the effects of the radiation and thing is still like account to me like for a long time after people
in a
still
couple
being
generations,
born with defects and different things like that.
Yep.
All kind of issues.
So
with
imagine
the water.
imagine the US got drop one now.
I reiterate, unnecessary. Like it just does not make sense at this point. If it's just like everybody gone.
But I have a feeling if the US have to do that now, especially again with the technology they have now, it's not just North Korea gonna be affected, obviously, because South Korea right there. If you
decide to use a nuke, if you're going that extent and using like the top of what they have in the arsenal, but it's not just going to be North Korea.
That's gonna start a world war because China gets take some licks too from that.
Just think about it. What if North Korea decide to send a missile and they miss the US? That landing straight the Caribbean Sea.
But you see, that goes to the second part of the question.
How's the Caribbean Ocean and every Caribbean island is a nuke, dog?
How you think we gonna be affected by that? Well, we as in Caribbean people and the people living in the Caribbean.
Well, I mean, seeing the amount of influence the U.S. has on St. Martin in particular, like, just culturally and different things, the amount of tourists that go there, I feel like what goes on in the U.S. does have some effect on St. Martin. But to say exactly, I feel like I'm nowhere near educated enough on these subject matter. Like, just to give you a completely real answer, I feel like I'm nowhere near educated enough on the subject matter for me to give you an informed and proper, realistic opinion of, like...
Actually, somebody who listens to our podcast and studies history, this is a good question. How was the Caribbean? This is something for us to look up. Actually, how was the Caribbean affected during World War II, or if the Caribbean was affected at all during World War II?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't like again, like you say. I ain't educated enough on that subject.
I'm interested in history and stuff, but Caribbean history is like a big gap in my knowledge and stuff like that, just because of how. I know. And it's something that does upset me about St. Martin and how politics is set up there. I personally feel like the curriculum needs to be a lot more tailored to us specifically, or at least Caribbean-centered stuff, because, like, I've talked to people that went to other schools. I know it's bad in MPC, but, I mean, from what I've heard about people that went to Academy or, like, St. Dominic, I know that they have a little more of actual Caribbean and St. Martin history and stuff like that in the curriculum, but MPC is just, like...
Well, I mean, to be quite honest,
it's a dud school. I kind of get it. But
but I mean, I went private school too, and we had not a thing. I know more about the States than St. Martin. The only thing I
learned about Christopher Columbus in primary school. I learned about all the lies about Christopher Columbus discovering people that already existed and had a happy life before you come up. And
but you see, we're going a little bit off again. Topic. Yeah, we're going a little off again. But if that had to happen now, especially a place like St. Martin. A Caribbean like St. Martin, we screwed it. Because you realize we're getting most of our imports from the States. Yeah, from like Miami. So if Miami and New York on that same coast, right? So they're going to get it too. So if that's affected, we're gonna get ourselves from Puerto Rico. It can't be Santo, it can't be Venezuela, because we got more things than them. That's a bad joke. I'm sorry.
Wow, the man said that. The man really said that, but
but you can't tell me a lie though. That's the whole thing. You can't. It's maybe test to say, but you can't tell me a lie. We can't depend on somebody who's worse off than you.
But that's why I always felt, or at least me, this is just my personal political beliefs, ideologies and philosophies for St. Martin. I personally feel St. Martin should unite and form some kind of stronger alliance with the neighboring islands. And I feel like that should be more of a main focus than its dependency or connection to Holland in particular, and even the US and stuff like that, because I know...
Yeah, but team up with the neighboring islands to do what?
Produce stuff and become self-sustaining within themselves.
But produce what?
I understand you can't outproduce certain larger nations and stuff like that, depending on what...
No, I mean, we ain't trying to outproduce nobody, but...
Reasons a lot of larger nations are successful is due to trade agreements and stuff like that. We literally just sign contracts and say that, yo, whatever it is that you making, we going to buy our stuff from you specifically so that we could help your economy because you're an allied nation and stuff like that. But and that same concept, I feel, could be applied to St. Martin and the neighboring islands. It just be like, yo, okay, Sabre, for example, you set up a whole bunch of solar panel farms or something, and you could. I know it's a small island, so that's probably like a terrible example to use.
Probably, let's say like Antigua or something, man. Look.
Whatever island it could be. This island, you put a bunch of solar panels there and stuff like that. The Caribbean, it's hot all the time, like all year round. There's sun. Like basically, you could wake up and just expect that okay, the sun is probably going to be out today. So I don't know why.
During hurricane season.
Even then, you still get sun a lot, or at least, but I mean, yeah, rainier, but whatever. Like, solar, I feel like the adoption of solar just in the Caribbean in general is something not being slept on in the tropics.
We would still get affected because even when we talk about solar, eventually we'd have to replace the solar panels to get all that. And if World War III have to happen, nobody thinking about that. Okay, maybe
my whole thing energy, just basically is like, yo, this island you produce this island you produce that. It could just be like, I just use the example of solar energy because I feel like it's something that can be produced in the Caribbean relatively easy, at least. Like that's what I think. Then I'm no expert in solar panels and how the technology works. I have a pretty decent understanding of it, but
yeah,
I mean, you got some batteries and stuff so that while there's a surplus of sun, while you got all that, you charge your batteries.
But I mean, the solar panels supposed to be charging batteries. That's why you could use current in the night and them kind of ones.
Because the sun in there all the time, blah blah, and there's dips in how much sun is being collected, or energy is being collected and things.
Okay, so I guess that's where we're not produce, but like how we would get affected. But you don't think we would get? You think You think we would get affected physically by the war? As in, like, for instance,
like I just say, if the North Korea decide to send a missile and they miss, like it does not make it all the way, dog. Like the minute, what is in between North Korea and the US?
Yeah, but not directly the Caribbean. Now we south than the States still. So if they aim for Florida,
if they aim for Miami, Florida, somewhere around there, like
then we a little bit. Then we got to be worried.
Even if they actually do hit them, I feel like we would probably still feel some residual things, or like
you radiation or something like that.
You would see it in the sea. The sea would like the shockwave that I think that would send like this.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Tide and stuff like that. I didn't think about that. I feel like there would definitely be some kind of ramification, some kind of repercussions to St. Martin.
But I ain't thinking about the shockwave free. But I guess it depends on what kind of nuke you use too.
Yeah.
Because I heard thinking if like we would be able to, I wonder if the radiation will come as far as us. But I guess depending where they nuke as well, where in the States they nuke.
Like we need smart people for these discussions,
But
like,
yeah, so somebody studying like
experts and stuff.
Biology or chemistry, not biology, chemistry.
Chemistry would be more accurate than radiation specifically, but I don't know the answers to these questions.
But I just keep it's a possibility, Jad, because I just want to know, because anybody who knows me, I have a real interest in the Asian culture. I can't say I'm going to go over there because over there it's gonna be worse because America going to.
They're gonna bring democracy over there. They did like
they gonna bring the pain over there.
For some democracy.
And the first place I would go is Japan, and Japan gonna be one of the first places affected.
Bye.
Because if anything, North Korea one of the closest allies is Japan.
Bye.
So I don't buy. We got go back home, because if that have to happen and we here in Holland still too, we gonna get it.
Yeah, we somewhere in between. I mean,
if not Korea send it to the States.
Yeah, we in between.
and they miss or they can't reach it.
Yeah,
we gonna get it.
Like that's a incredible feeling. If you aim for the US, dog, and you hit the Netherlands and you hit Europe, dog, like. Where was that missile really going?
But then at the same time, it might be a blessing in disguise because you're still hitting. If you looking at it from a North Korea perspective,
U.S. allies,
you're still hitting
U.S. allied nations, a whole lot of them.
You're hitting 3 birds with one stone. Okay, you're at least hitting Holland, Germany, and Belgium. France. Oh God,
like members of the G7 and things like that. The G20, like
I don't know exactly who all part of that.
Off top, I know France is one of the G7 nations. Off top, I don't remember it in detail. I should know these things. I feel like when it comes to looking at global politics and how these things work, but I should know these things. But I'm a rapper.
Wow, so you trying to say rappers ain't intelligent? That's what you're trying to say?
I'm just trying to say that is not where I see my livelihood necessarily coming from. So that's not my main focus to know each and every detail, although I know it's important, and I still feel like I know a reasonable amount more than a lot of people. Like I find politics interesting, so I'm going to pay attention to it to some degree regardless, and I feel like it plays a large role in my music. But we got a lot of off topic, and we've been discussing this topic for a long time, this Trump situation.
Yeah, and I was just interested to see, like, again, if anybody know what happened in the Caribbean during World War II, I'm quite interested to know. So let us know in the comments or hit me up personally.
Yeah.
And then we could have a discussion next week about that. 'Cause I find that a little interesting. So now we're getting out, and so since now we closing our whole political thing. They got this whole app, right, that I've been seeing on social media that I kind of curious about, and I think you would know. What this Sarah?
Yes.
What's this? What's this thing?
I'm no expert. Like, I've said that a lot this podcast already, but
I think people know that by now.
Yeah, but
I didn't realize that we know experts in it. We are not experts in anything. Jesus Christ is smart in English.
But I downloaded the app because I saw a lot of people talking about it, and I googled it to see like what exactly it was. Just because, I saw a lot of the hype and I was curious as well. Yeah,
cause I've seen people in St. Martin and in Holland Head doing this thing.
I downloaded it, and a few short days later I deleted it because I was like, I don't got time for this. This is just me personally, because like I feel I spend too much time on social media as it is, and there's just another social media. But what the app is,
what is it?
The main premise of the app is like it allows people to send anonymous messages to each other. So it's like you download the app and you make a profile in an account or whatever, and the idea is that you share this profile with on your other social media, so your friends or whoever it is could get it, so people can know that okay, you're on this app. And then once they have a username, they then get the ability to send you an anonymous message. And that's basically it. Like that's the whole premise of the app.
I see a whole lot of problems coming from that, from the dry snitching.
The original thing, like the original thing.
Oh God.
Supposedly what it is Sarahah is the Arabic word for honesty or something like that.
So they feel like because you put something anonymous, they could be honest?
Because like, but honestly, like that's usually how it works to some degree. Like a lot of people can't tell you their honest, true opinion or feelings about you and stuff like that face to face. So that's why it's like the app was created from the mindset of like in certain cultures or whatever, I believe in like Middle Eastern cultures or whatever, because that's where it came from, so that to kind of bridge the gap or allow, for example, colleagues and people that where there's a power division or like a power deficit, kind of, if it's a supervisor and a worker and stuff like that, so that I can still give honest feedback to this person without there being so I don't get fired or something like that, something drastic like that. Although I know that type of use, like that's not what this app is going to be used for. That is not,
especially in this day and age.
Maybe in a certain select setting, in a certain select environment, or certain few people may actually use the app for such a noble purpose and something that might be potentially good, but.
So you could turn like everything is anonymous automatically, or you could like turn it on, or you could turn it off. Or
it's just anonymous. Like you would see that you get a message from somebody, but you'll have no idea who sent this message, and like unless the person tells you in the message themselves, like this is so and so or something, like you just get this message and you just gotta.
That sounds like an app for people who want attention.
Like honestly, I downloaded because the idea of like.
Because
at least for a second, then the idea of knowing what people would have to say about me, possibly behind my back, kind of like that seemed interesting to me, and that was my idea. That was my reason for downloading the app. Like I don't know. It just that feeling, I guess, lasted literally only a second because I deleted it shortly after. I was like, yo, I don't have time for this.
You had to get any messages?
No, like, and that was the thing. Like I only shared it on my Snapchat like once because I know that it's Snapchat and it's not going to stay there permanent. So like a bunch of people ain't going to see my information. So
but that ain't going against the whole point of it.
That defeats the purpose. Yes, and that's why I was like, obviously from the minute if this is how I'm sending it, that tells me that like I subconsciously don't really want this out there like that. Because if I did really want it out there, I probably would have put it on Instagram or more permanent things, put it on Facebook or something where it's gonna stay up and more people will see it.
From how I've been seeing people use it, and from how you explain it there, to me that's how it going. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. Here's my profile. There, look. Tell me something about myself.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I don't want. I'm not going to be doing that. That was like, from time I see that's literally how it works. I was like, okay, this is not an app for me because I'm not out there going to be like, yes, tell me what you think about me. Like,
yeah, it's like, by me. Okay, me personally, I think is two reasons I ain't never think with that. One, I don't care enough, and two, I too sensitive, but right, I ain't even gonna lie. I too sensitive for that right now. Somebody have to tell me something dumb. That thing will bother me like the whole week. I will throw off my whole equilibrium, and but I can't do that. So, and like my mother teach me from small, prevention is better than cure. Yeah, so I ain't even trying to go up on that to even see what was the possibility.
But I ain't gonna lie, it's still somewhat curious. Like
curiosity kill the cat. Eh?
Making music. You're curious in what people think. Like, I want to know, do you think my shit is good? Is it whack? Like,
yeah, but
that's useful information.
Yeah, but you talking about something. You talking about a product of something that you make. Yeah, but here you talk about, yes. Tell me about me. What do you think about me?
But I am the product.
Yeah, but I could still say I don't like your music, but I still could fuck with you.
True, it's a true statement. I mean, like I have that same feeling about a lot of artists and stuff like that. I mean, I agree with all of their things as a person, but I could still be like, yo, the man, he makes amazing music.
Yeah, exactly. Separating the art from the artist. Like, I think you was talking about that last week, so.
Yep. Kanye was the example. No need to go back down that rabbit hole.
We ain't trying to go there at all. But yeah, I don't know. But to me, especially how people. Well, I guess I've been mostly seeing St. Martin people use it and anything else, and and almost 80% of the posts is like, yeah, I want to be in things too. So that's already the mindset you're going into it. So it's like, what? Nah, I ain't trying to be in things. No, I alright, I good. Or you could tell me face to face or on Facebook, and I ain't that whole anonymous thing.
I agree. That's why, yeah. That's what, like I say, I downloaded it. I tried it, realized that was not for me. I'm not the type to go around and just be advertising. Look here, now you have the ability to tell me what you think. Like, if you want to tell me what you think, tell me what you think. Like, I don't feel that there is a need for a whole nother app to do the same thing.
But exactly, especially because they got that's like you were saying before. They got so many other social media platforms. That's another way for people to tell you the same crap they could tell you before.
Yeah, like. I mean, I feel like at this point it's so ridiculous because I think most people, I know me for sure, just talk to the same people on a bunch of different apps. Like, for what reason, I don't know. Because
no, see, I
WhatsApp, like, at least me is WhatsApp, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. I have Twitter, but I don't use Twitter. And all of these apps more or less do the same thing. It's like,
by angle, I have different people. I have some people I don't have
there's certain differences,
yeah,
of course.
I
like
have
my
some
Snapchat is only certain people, and then like, yeah,
because I accidentally accept some people on my Instagram. So like, whatever I don't want to put on Instagram, I just show it on my Snapchat. So you say I have that control now.
Like, my Facebook has the most people. Then I would say probably Instagram after that, and like my Snapchat has like the smallest.
Yep.
My Twitter is just there for whenever
I follow. I don't have Twitter to follow people. I mean, for people to follow me. I don't follow like, whether it's Obama or other businesses and stuff like that. 'Cause they don't put everything on Twitter first. That's just how this day and age is now.
I get that, but I feel like that ain't true necessarily. I feel like Instagram kind of rivaling Twitter to some degree, at least when it comes to most like the amount of active users and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you see, I still find people to use it different.
Yeah, they do. Like, I feel that there's more kind of specialized as for certain types of content.
Yeah,
more people.
Exactly.
Like, more of the people that I am interested in, or things that I'm interested in, use Instagram. Like, a lot of artists and stuff like that, musicians.
Yeah, but I mean, Instagram you can say the same thing for Twitter.
They use a lot of them use Twitter, and Twitter is what does make news headlines.
But
and stuff like that. I wouldn't become a normal thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to Instagram for news, but I would go to my Twitter to be like, okay, Sony, Sony released this, or
a lot of things that do become news start Instagram and IG as well. Come when you look at all the rap beefs and things, like for example with Drake and
but you talking about more in a entertainment type something. I mean, like Twitter.
That's what I pay attention to.
Yeah, so but you see, Twitter is all around as well. Twitter ain't just that, because all the businesses, the first thing they do when they want to interact with customers now is put it on Twitter. So if you hear anything where from, if you like me who following games and stuff like that, you hear things from Sony or E3 or whatever, they don't have the things on Twitter first. So that's why I have a Twitter account. But other than that, Instagram is for time wasting, practically just watching ridiculous videos.
In my opinion, like social media is all of it is 90% time wasting. Like I feel like there's few people that use social media productively.
That's the thing, is how you use it.
I feel like most people are consumers on social media than producers. Like they ain't putting out content, they just consuming content from other people. And to me, that is to some degree like you could classify that as time wasting. Like
it definitely is. You end up watching a video about like how to cook something and end up watching like how to make a knife by time like
like Snapchat. I could honestly say like I don't think there's ever been a time when I've seen something on Snapchat and I was like, yo, this is critical information that I would not have been able to live without. Like,
but I ain't gonna lie, I just follow I don't know if anybody know it or anybody follow it too, Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. But I don't follow him on Snapchat, and a lot of things he'd be saying on his Snapchat to be true, but at the same time he on Instagram.
Yeah, like
and Twitter.
My Snapchat is mostly like people that I actually know. There's a few. I had celebrities in the past. Like I had DJ Khaled. I had Angela Yee.
My sister was telling me to check DJ Khaled because his
that was during the hype when everybody was. There was a lot of hype about his Snapchat when he was stuck on a jet ski and all kind of stuff. He got like a big improvement, but like. The type of content is like, yo, this is wasting time. Literally, I really don't care about what is going on in this man's life that way. And like his personality is like DJ Khaled is a walking meme.
He would annoy me too much, but I think that's why I never.
DJ Khaled is a walking meme. Like the amount of another ones and congratulations, you played yourself, and like I don't know.
I think it just gets a little bit repetitive after a while.
Yeah, and
but I guess that's almost anybody. Cause I mean, I used to follow some of them like Instagram models on Snapchat, but like it's the same thing
every day. Like you can pose in a different way and take a picture of your booty from a different angle or a different piece of underwear you're wearing.
It's the same leg twist, ankle up. It's that same move, dog.
Same pose, but you gotta change the underwear. You know the bikini or lingerie, whatever it is they're wearing. You gotta change that.
But you see this whole new thing about how they. I don't know if it's a new thing. Sorry, ladies, if I old, but how they like pulling up the panty line or the G-string. I don't know what it is they're trying to show, or that stuff they're sexy now. I find it look kind of strange. You never see that? They be trying to give themselves a wedgie, dog.
Well,
I don't understand that.
I mean,
that's supposed to be that.
I'm trying to think of like a possible rationalization or explanation and things like that.
I must got somebody on Instagram like that still. Let me see if I could, while you discussing there, if I could put up a picture.
Mean, to me, like honestly, I never had no problem. Like I ain't complaining. Let me just put it that way. Like you could do what you want with your pants and wear it however how you feel and things like that.
I mean, I ain't necessarily complaining either, but I mean, like
if you make the conscious decision to display your goodies in such a fashion, who am I to tell you anything about it?
I feel you.
Would I necessarily like? Nah, that's irrelevant. I really like.
So like they would have it like this, and then they would lift it up. So like they would make it more like.
But I think though that was just fashion at one point in time, and it just going back there to me. Like the way certain bikinis and stuff, especially being cut, for example, the more really super high waist kind of thing on the side. Like if you go back to the 70s and thing and see the types, the way bikinis used to look and thing.
But they say fashion is nothing but
it goes in cycles, and the bags like with the snapbacks going out and coming back in and stuff like that. Cap fitteds, like for the 2000s and stuff like that, fitted caps was what people was wearing. Then all of a sudden snapbacks just make this resurgence and things like that. Things that my parents probably was wearing, like the hats with the green under the top and things like that. Also, if I look at the old picture of somebody, I might see that. But
I know much about how my mother used to dress other than she had an afro. Yeah.
Like I've seen some old photo albums and things of like, you know, how they were looking in the past. And I could imagine my father probably in, seeing him in a snapback or something like that.
I never really seen my father like a young, like my age, but my mother had a bad man afro though.
My father, he looked just like my brother, right? Yeah. Like if you see my brother, like my father looked just like this man.
But my mother kind of look a lot like my older cousins, the girl ones. It's a little scary. But just like how I got a little cousin there that look just like Zavon. Hey, big up Zav on the beat. Look just like Zavon mother by Auntie Noreen. Jesus, Vernie look just like but I guess that's just that bigger gene. But anything else you would like to say to the people, guy?
Honestly, I think that's a pretty good place to round off. Been talking a while, didn't want to make this podcast too long because that's one of the critiques and things that we got in the feedback. So we trying to show that we paying attention.
We listening.
Yeah, we working on improving. Oh, and one thing that I didn't want to say though before we close off is about the next podcast. We would like to have a guest, and we're working on trying to plan it out, but we don't want to say that yes, definitely we're having a guest because we're still working out the scheduling and stuff like that.
And if anybody know about living in Holland, shit happens. So, and things will come up last minute, and we got to fit. It's not just one schedule; we got to fit 3 people's schedules.
Yeah, so we trying to. We still need to work on that, but we definitely trying to have a guest on for next week's episode.
Yeah, it should hopefully it gonna happen. Y'all gotta tune in next week to find out.
Yeah, that's the little teaser or cliffhanger that we want to leave you on. You gotta watch the next episode to find out what happens next time on Dragon Ball Z.
All right, then, everybody, thanks again for listening. You can find us on our YouTube page, should we say that's working now properly?
Yes. We had some issues with the first one regarding where it was uploaded on the YouTube page, but now we got the official LinkUp YouTube channel set up, and everything is just going to be on that page from now on. We issued a statement on the LinkUp Facebook, so if you don't follow us on the Facebook page, make sure to go find it at the LinkUp podcast on Facebook, so you can follow there. All updates of every new episode will be posted there, so make sure you follow there. We also have an Instagram account, and that will be the similar thing, so you can be updated if you don't want to see it just from Facebook, or if you prefer Instagram or whatever.
Hey, we everywhere. We're trying to be everywhere. So
yeah, or at least as much places as possible that makes sense.
Exactly. So again, we would appreciate any comments or constructive criticism on, even if you have some more on the last episode, or if you have something to say on this episode, leave us know. And again, with the topics, if y'all have any topics y'all want us to discuss, or any people y'all want us to talk to in general, leave us know, and we'll try to make it happen.
Yeah, and with that, I think we're out.
Yes. Till next time, people. Bless up.
Don't know.